Hi, welcome back to Liquid Lunch. We got Tanya Cianciulli here. Did I say that right, Tanya?
Yes, you did. Congratulations.
See? Anyways.
Not many people do.
I know, I didn't get it.
I get all kinds.
Right.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's what happens when you've got a name like Cianciulli.
That's what happens when you're married to an Italian.
So now you're the executive director of Wish Opera?
Yes.
So what is Wish Opera?
What is Wish Opera? Wish Opera, we are an opera company, but what makes us different and unique is that we feature exclusively Canadian talent. So Canadian opera singers, Canadian fashion designers instead of renting costumes. We provide a platform for Canadian artists of all mediums to gain exposure and show Canada their latest fashions, their artwork, design.
And also the fact, like, they're Canadian.
Everyone's
productions.
Canadian.
I mean,
yes.
the stories are Canadian.
Well, the stories are, we're using traditional operas, but we're putting a modern twist on them so that we can, gain a broader audience and really make opera a more accessible art form so that people can relate to it. Mm-hmm. And it's, incredible experience to come and see all of these talented Canadians fused together.
I can't believe we haven't heard of it. Or, that it's not, I mean, this is today, I must say. Maybe I'm just living in a bubble, but I haven't heard of it before.
Well, we're fairly new. We're fairly new. We have our first fully staged production this April at the John Bassett Theatre.
This is the first one this year?
This is our first. We had a launch concert last year featuring some incredible Canadian opera singers and designers. But this is our first fully staged production at the John Bassett with full orchestra.
Now, where's
sets.
the John Bassett?
It's actually located in the Metro Toronto Convention Centre. It's a bit of a hidden gem. It's a stunning theatre. It seats 1,300 people. I know.
Because I've been all over the convention center, and I didn't
It's downstairs. Yeah, it's a stunning theater, perfect for opera, and very accessible and easy to get to.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so this is the Rosemary that's going to be playing April 15th and 16th.
Yes.
And we actually have 2 tickets to that performance available for a giveaway today, valued at $85 to the first caller in, 416-204-9723. Don't miss your chance to see this. It's a great story. It's a Canadian love story. Tell us a little bit more about it.
Rosemary is actually an operetta, so it's sung in English. So people won't have to worry about, will I understand the story? It is sung in English. It takes place in the Canadian Rockies, and it is a love story, but with some comedy involved as well. And it's about a young girl who's in love with the character Jim Kenyon, who's a miner. And there are Mounties, and there's also some scenes set in Quebec City in a dress shop. So we'll have an actual on-stage fashion show featuring some designers actually from Montreal. Denis Gagnon and Marie St. Pierre will be featured in this scene. So it's going to be a really incredible story.
So it's a Canadian boy, English-Canadian boy.
French-Canadian girl, Rosemary Laflamme, and she's in love with miner Jim Kenyon. He's Canadian as well. Mm-hmm.
And is it sort of like a cross of cultures or taboo that she's not allowed to be in love with an English guy, sort of like a Romeo Juliet?
Is it
yeah,
like the sweater? Is it like
bit.
The sweater, only in opera?
Yeah, it's a love story, and there is a little bit of you can't marry him, he's not for you, that kind of thing. So
when is it set? What's the time period?
Well, we're setting it in modern day. We're setting it in modern day, but it was, you know what? I should know that, and off the top of my head, I can't quite remember, but it did have a very long run on Broadway.
Really?
Yes. The lyrics are written by Hammerstein II, so it's the music is stunning. It's very memorable. You'll come out humming tunes, and I know a lot of the music's been featured on commercials. The
I can't believe
Indian
you don't
Love
know
Call.
about this.
Yeah.
I've never heard of this.
Well, now you know.
But the thing is, probably at the time that it was written, it would be a taboo cross-culture. Today, things are a little different. Seems like, anything goes, so...
Right.
It certainly does for Janette. You should see her Valentine's schedule.
Oh, stop it. It's not a schedule. I have one date tonight with one person.
Sure.
Okay, I mentioned to him earlier today that I was sort of dating a few different people,
Okay.
testing the waters.
Anything goes with her.
So there's a
Not
bit of an inside
anything.
joke there.
Not anything. I'm very particular. And now he's bugging me about it. He's giving me a hard time.
Oh gosh.
You know?
So okay, so now this has got to be a big occasion for you guys because it's your first big production, right?
It is, and we've actually been incredibly lucky to have renowned Canadian artist Charles Pachter did our poster, and he's very well known for like the images of the Queen on the Moose and that type of thing. So people might recognize actually our posters from one of his limited editions. And our conductor, who's now joined us, renowned Canadian conductor, Carrie Stratton, and we're very, very lucky to have him. He's an incredible talent.
And who's the orchestra or
the orchestra? We are forming our own Wish Opera Orchestra, so they will be various Canadian talents as well.
That's great. How big? How many pieces?
For this orchestra, we're going with about 15 to 20 players. For Romeo and Juliet in the fall, will probably be slightly larger, close to 28 or 30 pieces, I believe.
Yeah. So how did you get involved in this?
Yeah, that was
how did
my
you get to be the
question.
executive director?
Well, I've sung opera my whole life. I started out singing classically, and my uncle was a mentor of mine, and he said, you have to sing opera, you have the perfect voice for it. And so I studied opera. I was performing up until I had my children about 4.5, 5 years ago. And I used to do a lot of events featuring Canadian artists, just a big fusion of artists. And so I really enjoy working with artists of all mediums. And so, I was thinking when my children are getting a little bit older, and what do I want to start doing? I'm really lacking that, like working with my passion in my life. And so I just thought that this would be an incredible combination to fuse opera with the strictly Canadian arts. We have so much talent in our own backyard, and I think that we really need to take advantage of it.
And it's true because a lot of our talent goes to the States to become. Look at Justin Bieber, right? He is a Canadian. Anne-Marie, Canadian, all these big top Canadian, Celine Dion.
Yeah.
And we have to send them to the States to get them known. That's kind of sad.
Well, that's true for opera as well. They usually say, go abroad and get some experience, and then we'll take you seriously here. So, we really want to create almost like an incubator here for Canadian talent and provide the support and nurture their talent here, and then they can go abroad.
Where does the name come from? Wish Opera.
My husband is an entrepreneur, and his company called the Wish Group, and he has always been very supportive of entrepreneurs and people with a vision and a dream. And so, I really wanted this company to be transportable if we wanted to take it different places. So I didn't want to have it related to a specific city, like, Mississauga Opera or Brampton Opera. So I just wanted to pick a name that, kind of had a feeling to it that, related with dreaming big and setting goals and pursuing your passion. And so I just said to my husband, I'm stealing your name. I'm going with Wish Opera. So he's been incredibly supportive as well.
Now, when is the opening?
April 15th.
Okay, now
Yes.
have you started selling tickets yet?
Oh, yes.
Yeah?
Tickets are on sale. Tickets are doing actually pretty well.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that.
Yeah.
How's the
And we have
public,
2 today, too, to give away.
So how's the public responding
Pretty good.
Because it seems like a great, really
It is. A lot of people are really
Canadian.
interested in it, and I just found personally since the Olympics last year that the Canadians are just on a whole more proud of their talent and want to have it seen by the world, and so I'm getting very good response.
That's great.
And will you ever be singing again in your own, starring your own show?
You know what? A lot of people ask me that question. I think maybe at some point down the road I might cast myself in a role or two, but at this point I don't want to. I'm really enjoying the kind of behind the scenes aspects of it and being able to work with all the talented designers and performers and stuff. So, probably down the road I might, if I think that there's a role that I'm really passionate about and I think I could do a quality job at it. You never know.
Great. So your website is?
Is www.wishopera.ca.
And
Okay.
again, you've
I'm
got the
writing
2
that down,
tickets
Tanya.
today for the performance
Yes.
coming up April 15th. Rosemarie is the name of the show.
Yes.
And it's a Canadian love story. And our call-in number is 416-204-9723. And first caller in will get those 2 tickets. So it's a lovely night out, a perfect date.
It is. It really is a great
with a
date
love
night.
story. You can get it today and present it to your better half tonight.
Absolutely.
And then plan it for April 15th.
It sounds really good.
Thank you.
And you got what, Romeo and Juliet planned for the fall?
In the fall, yes. And we've actually got a number of our cast picked out for that, and we are just ecstatic about presenting this talent to
and will that have a Canadian spin on it too?
Oh yes,
it's all Canadian.
Yes, it's all Canadiana. We're gonna make
Really?
that cool.
You could set it in. Where are you gonna set it? In Yellowknife or?
Downtown Toronto.
That sounds good, like sort of like a Canadian West Side Story.
Sure.
Yeah. Okay,
That's really great, Tanya.
Thank you.
I really
Thank you
love
so much.
for you to come back and tell us
Absolutely.
about Romeo and Juliet, and then whatever you got planned for next year. Too.
Absolutely. Thank
Okay,
you so much.
great.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tanya. Chanchuli, wishopera.ca, and we're gonna take a little. Too bad we don't. We don't have any music, right? Too bad.
No.
See you next time.
Next time. Next
All right.
time.
Okay.
And
so
we'll be right back
with Stacy.
Yes.
Aika.
Sitting in a tree talking about romance.
Yes.
And finding your perfect mate.
Perfect. We'll be right back. Thatchannel.com.